little Johnny. Little Johnny is playing in the backyard with his kitty. Mom is watching him from the kitchen window and reveling in the wonder of how great it is that the two are having such fun. Mom yells out, "Johnny, what are you guys doing?" He says, "Mom, we're playing church." "Wonderful, you're playing church. That's great." Mom goes back into her work in the kitchen, and the next thing you know, she hears the loudest, raucous noise, screeching, screaming. She looks over out the window, and there's the cat, and Johnny is dunking the cat. She says, "Johnny, what are you doing? The cat doesn't need a bath." "Mom, I'm not giving him a bath. I'm giving him a baptism." "Baptism? Johnny, the cat doesn't want to be baptized." "Well, he shouldn't have said he wanted to join the church." Said he wanted to join the church. It does at least get to the word, doesn't it? I like little Johnny stories. Although I had a friend of mine that offered a talk one day and started with little Johnny. And of course, I giggled. Because I know several little Johnny stories. Well, it turns out that little Johnny happened to be an orphan in very bad distress. And she was in the process of talking very seriously about Johnny and got upset with him. Perspectives. Mary Ruth and I talk a lot when it comes to what we're going to talk about. If y'all don't know, Mary Ruth and I have been together for some 30 years. And we are a partnership like none that I've experienced with anyone else in my life. And we work together. We work together in businesses. We work together for employers. And we work together as a team when it comes to our family. And we were talking, and I said, I'm thinking I want to do a little talk on who are you? Because I've done a short speech on who are you, and it was pretty powerful. And Mary Ruth said, yeah, that's it. And being the intelligent human being I am, I said, "Yes, dear, that's a good idea." And then I was in meditation. Words. What we say. It's interesting, I did a talk recently that was on thoughts and feelings. Thoughts being spiritual seed, feelings being the fertilizer that could support the manifestation of those thoughts, those spiritual seeds, growing into what we can manifest here in the physical. Words seem to be a great follow with that, although they're so powerful they can stand on their own. And to start with, who are you? Seems apropos. Because what words came into your head when I asked that question? Who are you? Is anyone? Anyone? What'd you get?
Child of God.
Oh, I love that one. That's one of my favorites. Any others? That we're willing to admit to? See, there's the rub. There's the rub. See, there's a voice in my head. And if any of you are asking what voice, that's the one. And that voice in my head has been trained for years, and lately, for the past probably 10 or 15, it's been trained fairly positively. But for the previous 40, it was trained negatively. You know, there's a study out, you may not know, but I do. There's a study out that says children hear the word no some 5,000 times before they're like 3 or 4 years old. Just no, 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 no. And Then there's the, stop it, Johnny. Good children don't do that. What will the neighbors say? How could you? I don't believe you did that. Oh my God, what are they going to think? And I don't know about you, but the voice in my head, that automatic recorder that constantly goes on, jibber-jabbering, all day long, some say 60,000 thoughts a day go through this processor. That's pretty amazing. 60,000 thoughts a day. No, The interesting thing is, they're pretty much the same old thoughts. It's not new thinking. It's not, oh, wow, I can save the world with that thought. No, it's the same old recorded thoughts. And it could be, I'm a child of God. Now, how magnificent is that? What a thought. Well, depending on how you hold God. Because some don't hold God in the same esteem that I do. Some hold God as a negative, really condemning and brutalizing and hateful, and being a child of that God, I couldn't fit. Although I tried. And that's part of why I didn't join a church for my first 30-some years of life. Because I couldn't make up to that God. That God didn't fit in my head, but it definitely didn't fit in my heart. See, the God that I have is love. The God that I have is the baby with the bright, shining eyes, the wisdom of the ages in a 1-year-old, the wisdom of the ages in a 2-day-old. That's the God I hold. That loving, magnificent, powerful, omnipresent, everywhere. So, if that God is everywhere, for me, guess what? She's right here. As well as right there. Now, if I have this thought in my head that I'm a child of that God, I'm empowered. I'm able to step out into the world knowing wherever I go, I bring the power and presence of wonder and magnificence. And yet, if the words in my head are, you don't measure up, you're never going to be able to do that. You're just not worth it. Why do you even try? One more time. Then I stumble out into the world a little less than who I truly am. There are words that are used to absolutely destroy us. And I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of having the skill to cut to the heart with a word. The sad thing is that I did that unconsciously for years. I instantly cut to the heart when you got too close, or I was afraid you were going to get into the inner shell, or you might really find out who I was. Because at that time, who I thought I was not worthy, not worthwhile, not good enough, and if you found that out, you wouldn't love me, much less like me. And one of the tools that I had in my repertoire was words. Because I wasn't a real physical guy. You know, Jade stands up here like 6'7" and all tall and stuff. I'm just a lowly 5'8". So physical wasn't my shot. Verbal. Verbal was my shot. And I could brutalize. And I did. And at times it was unconscious. At times I would brutalize. I would say something to someone I loved unconsciously and just cut them to the quick. And at this point, I'm not going to play any guilt on that. Because I did it unconsciously. At other times, I knew exactly what to say to really get control of that argument. To really get some solid power in. To really take over. Because the minute I pushed the word button, the pain was so great that the voice in the head had no other place to focus. It had to go to the pain. And I knew it. And I'm not proud of it. Although, the one thing I can say is, it afforded me the ability to survive. And at one time, I thought that's all that life was about, was surviving, just making it, just getting over on somebody enough to make it through the day without being hurt, without being damaged, or without anybody finding out the truth that I didn't measure up. And it seemed so much easier. And then I was graced with an opportunity to discover that there was a different way.